This train's leaving the station, and today I got a new piece. When I get really frustrated, I take the devil out here, which is my little great white shark, and I bring the courts of heaven down, bam, bam, and we pray prayers, and I whack him in the head. I don't know, I feel better when I do it, because I'm tired of the devil robbing people's peace of mind. Hey, here's your verse for the day. Therefore, seeing we are also encompassed about with so great a cloud of witness, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which does so easily beset, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us, looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross. He had a joy in front of him, the resurrection and the complete recovery of humanity and the multitude of souls that would be saved. He held the vision of why he was paying the price. That's the only way you can really go through pain, is to see why you're paying the price. The pain is worth the pleasure of the success on the other side. And laying aside every weight. Every weight. Speaking of weight, some of you are overweight. Some of you are getting brain fog, and you don't know if it's dementia, early onset Alzheimer's, or whatever. I'm telling you something. The degeneration in your body does not have to be accepted, and you can push back on it. Your body basically was designed to live forever, and the principle of sin caused the deterioration and the aging process. But you know, they're finding stuff out about even the aging process, and I think science is kind of working. You got to grab this. Your stem cells, for instance, can multiply. You can get 1 billion cells injected into your body, and suddenly your system starts to change. And it's like you've got youth being injected into your bloodstream. That may not be the most scientific explanation, but I've got around 7 hacks, 7 super smart health hacks. That is why I've got my Get Smart with Don Adams there picture I'm trying to promote, because we're doing a health summit. It's coming up next week, right? January 15th through 17th. I'm going to be in sunny Doral, Florida, Trump Doral in Miami. Now, a lot of you aren't going to be able to make it. You didn't get in there. It's a real small group. It's like 120 of us with 7 of the top hacks. Professionals, life hacks, smartest wellness people in the world, Jewish doctors, researchers in nutrition, people that are experts in the vaccine technologies and the stem cell experts. I mean, it's going to be very interesting, but I'm going to recommend something for you. You're not going to be there to hear the inside professionals talking, right? But guess what you can do? You can get the live stream. I just talked to my staff today. I said, I don't want to. People come back to me after this event and they go, it's the most important thing I've been to all year. Yeah, well, I'm sorry. That's why I did a second one for 150 of you, I guess, or 200 of you. But go to healthsummit.us and grab yourself a live stream ticket. You don't want to miss stuff that these guys will not say on the air. They said that they're going to do in the live stream. And we're going to find out, one of them is going to be about the reverse aging. There isn't such a thing, but there really is, how to reverse the degeneration in your body. Another one's going to talk about the new breakthroughs in terms of weight loss. You don't necessarily have to freeze your gut with snake venom, like some of these products people are injecting. They don't know that they're doing that, but they have other resources. I'm even going to have a cold plunge expert, and I might even go into the cold plunge tank myself just in order to defy the people that say I'll never do it. But go there right now, healthsummit.us, and let's get into today's show. Hey, welcome to the Lance Wallnau Show. For those of you that are coming back, you'll notice I'm not dressed the same. I've found a scarf. You know, I've lost this scarf over the holidays. My wife said, I'm praying you figure out where you left it. I was really upset because I'm a little absent-minded. I leave stuff on planes. My kid just texted me something. He's wearing a shirt I left at his house. I don't know why I do it. It's an ADHD, infirmity, I guess. But anyway, I just found it in one of the areas of my office. So I'm wearing it. Isn't it a great little, whatever this is called? Muffler or scarf? That's it. All right, so speaking of scarves, somebody was scarfing about $9 billion of revenue right out of Minnesota, And the amazing thing is, the last interview Charlie Kirk did was with this young guy in his 20s who's a Christian. Like he said, I don't do drugs, I don't do alcohol, I don't drink, I'm still a virgin, I'm a Christian, just basically grabbed his cell phone, went up, recorded out there, went around and recorded went to daycares, knocked on doors. Anyone could have done this. This 23-year-old kid does it. Breaks the news cycle, brings down the governor. Now, here's the question I've got for you. We're going to play a little video here. Yeah, go ahead. Play video cut 6 of the journalist Nick Shirley. I want you guys to see this.
In fiscal year 2025, this facility, which has its license for 74 kids, was paid $1.26 million.
Yes.
Is this your daycare center?
No, I work there. What's happened?
I just want to put a child in daycare, but all the daycare centers seem to be closed. No one's opening the doors.
You work here?
I was, yeah. What's happened?
Where are the kids?
Yeah?
It says it's licensed for 74 children. Right here, state of Minnesota. Where are the kids? They got paid $1.26 million in fiscal year 2025. It says they have a capacity for 74 children.
When?
Where are the kids? Right here. State of Minnesota website. You work here and you don't know?
I don't know. I was there before. I don't know what's going on.
Were there any kids when you worked here?
He's there. Kids there. What's
How
happened?
many?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah.
Yeah, where are the children? It says you have 102 children here, and you got $2.66 million this year in funding, and $2.5 million last year. We're just wondering where the kids are.
And who are you?
My name's Nick Shirley.
Nick Shirley.
And where are you? Which department? That is harassment.
Oh, we are from ourselves.
Yeah.
Hello, we'd like to ask where the money's going. Look at that. Shut us down. Where are the children at? No children inside of this daycare center. And look, at this daycare center right here, no children inside of this daycare center. But between those buildings, over $2.6 million.
Wow, and imagine that was just a $2 million here, $1 million there, and it goes up to $9 billion. It takes a lot of daycares to add up to that. Well, what my question is this. The fraud fallout is so severe that Governor Tim Walz has to abandon his reelection bid. He might have to lawyer up to prove that he was just incompetent and not corrupt. It's bad when you're corrupt. It's bad when you're incompetent. And if you have to pick one of the two, it's embarrassing either way. But I want to ask you the question. What would have happened if Harris and Walz were the vice president and presidential? What would have happened? Well, first of all, you know the Somalian theft would never have been doged out. Although this kid with an iPhone, which, by the way, hint, hint, can make you famous with an iPhone as a citizen journalist in California right now, in Michigan right now, get a hold of the list, get a printout. Grok will help you, so will ChatGPT, of all the state, federal funded agencies and go around and check them out. The food kitchens, the programs, and just do a little citizen journalism. Here's my point. What would have happened if Tim Walz was vice president of the United States and this came out? Can you imagine what that would look like? The firestorm over pulling out the VP over fraud and corruption charges in his own state, that would just be a constant news cycle. This guy could have been president. Kamala Harris gets, bam, whacked, taken out, something happens to her. This guy was a heartbeat away from being president. America is scary. America scares me sometimes. You know, a big building sways, and if it's too tall and sways, it could tip over. That's America. This guy was a heartbeat away from being in charge of your country. Guarantee Iran would have a nuclear bomb, we'd be closer to war in the Middle East, and we wouldn't be involved, and Israel would be threatening a nuclear response. You'd be seeing Pakistan and India the same way. Who knows if a nuclear thing hadn't been triggered already. You'd see Venezuela totally taken over by China, and you see our border continually being flooded open with gangs and enemies of the state coming in because we have a kind of a suicide, death wish to bring everybody in and take our economy down. I'm just saying, thank God that mercy prevailed and that God in heaven does here in this country that is a super nation, super influential, wasn't turned over to more delirium and demonic control. But what if Waltz was vice president or president and this was coming out? Donald J. Trump post on X after Tim Walz steps down. Please put it up for me so that your host can see. Minnesota's corrupt governor will possibly have leave office, thank you, before his term is up. But in any event, he will not be running again because he was caught red-handed along with Ilhan Omar. Oh, he's going after Ilhan Omar. Hey, what is going to happen to her? And others of the Somalia friends stealing tens of billions of taxpayer dollars. I feel certain the facts will come out, and they will reveal a seriously unscrupulous and rich group of slime balls. Governor Walz has destroyed the state of Minnesota, but others like Governor Gavin Newsom and J.B. Pritzker and Kathy Hochul have done, in my opinion, an even more dishonest and incompetent job. No one is above the law. Trump isn't even running, and he's already running over his competition. His imaginary opponents, they'll be running against his successor, but he's after them already. He's so competitive. What do you think? Do you think not Elon Musk, but Ilhan Omar, do you think that she's going to in any way get exposed? How did her husband end up earning like $20 million? Where's the forensic audit and IRS analysis of where all that money came from that took somebody with a $200,000 income and suddenly made him $20 million richer? Doesn't it make you curious, people? All right. Carolyn Levitt says, none of this is surprising to the Trump administration. This is a man who can no longer even win the votes in his own state. Says, all hands on deck. There's surging resources to get to the bottom of this. Play cut 9.
Does it surprise you what's happening with Tim Walz?
Unfortunately, it doesn't. The scale of the fraud that the Trump administration, with the help of great independent journalists like Nick Shirley, is uncovering right now is surely shocking. But President Trump has been calling out Tim Walz for his incompetence and corrupt leadership for a very long time. And Trump was right about everything. This is another example of that, which is why Governor Walz is dropping out of the race for re-election today. This is a man who can no longer even win the support of the voters within his home state because his policies have failed them. And now the great people of Minnesota, a state that was once known as the land of 10,000 lakes, has been turned into the land of 10,000 Somali schemes because of their governor. And don't forget, this is a guy who was at the top of the Democrat Party's ticket, the number 2. He was Kamala Harris's running mate just about a year ago until President Trump crushed them last November. And it was in large part because the president was calling out this fraud. And so this has been a day one priority for the Trump administration, Jesse. The Department of Justice has convicted and prosecuted nearly 100 defendants in Minnesota. And because of these new details and this new reporting that has come to light, this is a all hands on deck across the entire government effort. We are surging resources. You saw today the Department of Homeland Security announced we have nearly 2,000 agents from the Homeland Security Investigations Team. The FBI is on the ground, and we're freezing money. HHS cut off funding for child care centers and for daycares. USDA Secretary Rollins has been asking Governor Walz to see the recipients of SNAP in his state. So this is all hands on deck. Rest assured, it's a top priority for President Trump. And he believes that Governor Walz is criminally liable. And I think the Department of Justice is going to find out.
Let me tell you something. Trump just froze the money to Governor Newsom and a whole bunch of left-wing states because he said, I think there's fraud all over the place. All right. Look, real quick. Play Brother Steve Bannon. Let's hear what the Irish Brigade has to say.
the signals coming out of Minneapolis. Waltz, remember, was just running for his third term as a tee-up for a 2028 run, and he was on the short list. He was on the short list as a presidential candidate. He's now done. This is the power of not just the Somalian situation, but the entire situation about these programs essentially taking illegal aliens, what do you call them, refugees, migrants, whatever program they come in, asylum program, they're all illegal. It's all 100%, they're all gun decked getting in here, and they all have to be removed. And taking your tax dollars, they understand the polling is just not MAGA's outraged, but most importantly, independents are completely outraged because they've heard Waltz's liver-lipped BS for years and years and years. He's done. He's a casualty of this war.
Well, let me tell you something. These independents, man, you need those votes. They're the swing group, you know. You got the right wing and the crazy left, and then the independents. They're a big deal. All right, come on right back right after this. I don't want to lose you. We got a final big segment with Maha. I got something coming in January at the Trump Doral with all of my favorite doctors. I got a whole group of medical experts going to talk about making you Maha healthy. You're going to make you healthy and going to make you wealthy and make you wise for the race of your life, because we're not going to lose. Last year at this time we were celebrating. This year at this time we got a wake-up call, but we're going to win this battle and not lose. Go to lancewallnau.com/wellness, and you'll see why Wallnau is doing a wellness conference January 15th through 18th at the Trump Doral. Listen, it's cold up north. Come down to Florida. All right, lancewallnau.com/wellness. Save your seat. Bringing the news as the news is happening. By the way, I got a question for you. Do you guys believe that that it's possible for Mike Lindell to become the governor of Minnesota? Now, I'm a little concerned about this. Mike's a friend of mine. He texts me, and he says, Lance, I want to talk to you. I'm running for governor. And he loves Minnesota. One thing about Minnesota, my son-in-law's from Minnesota. Michelle Bachmann's from Minnesota. Mike Lindell's from Minnesota. These Minnesotans are different than other states. If you were from, I don't know, Illinois, or if you're from New Mexico, or you're from Montana, I might not ever hear it. But whenever I run into someone from Minnesota, it's the funniest thing. They always bring up somebody they know in Minnesota and want to know if I know them. It's like they all know each other in Minnesota. I mean, Michelle, how could I tell you, Michelle? I can't tell you half a dozen other well-known people's state, but I know Michelle Bachmann is from Minnesota. I know Mike Lindell's from Minnesota. Something about Minnesota. And so I started thinking about it. I want to bring Mike on the show because he said, Lance, I want to announce what I'm doing. And I'm thinking, oh, man, we can't afford to lose anything. We need to be serious and sober-minded and judicious. We got to put candidates that are really electable on the map, not just every Christian that's a friend of mine or everybody that has a vision for, or here's a call of God to go run for office. It's got to be electable people. But then I thought, Minnesota, isn't that where the governor was once a former World Wrestling Federation, like Navy SEAL Delta guy, Jesse Ventura? Am I correct? Yeah, I'm thinking, I remember watching him with long blonde hair, and him with doing wrestling moves. I'm thinking, that guy will be governor? Yeah, he was elected. Then I thought, can't believe Saturday Night Live, Al Franken, one of the comedians has said, well, a comedian's going to run for Senate. Well, this will be a joke. Boom, the guy gets elected. My point is this. Minnesota's kind of nutty that way. If it's a fair election and you're from Minnesota and you're really liked in Minnesota, well, let me tell you something. The left doesn't like Mike Lindell anywhere, but in Minnesota, he's the pillow guy, right? Yeah, Mike Lindell, he's a good guy. I'm trying to talk like a Minnesotan, probably insulting them. I think he might win. I'm saying all that to say, for Minnesota, he might do it. They elect wrestlers. They elect comedians. Why not the pillow guy? I'm giving my logic on this. Now, I wouldn't say that for every other state, But Minnesota is a little bit different. And I'm not kidding. If I had my son-in-law, he's in the studio here, he's just not mic'd up. I mean, here, hop over here in a chair, Matt. It's my son-in-law for all you guys that want to know who he is. Matt, I haven't talked about this with you, but what do you think? Am I offbeat, or is it, what are the Minnesota people thinking? And why is it that Minnesota people all know each other?
Well, it's very cold in Minnesota, so there's not a lot to do, but all you do is talk about the weather in Minnesota, and you find some way to connect and bond over something. But
all right, but look, Jesse Ventura is a wrestler and a Navy SEAL guy, and then Al Franken, comedians, Saturday Night Live. Do you think Mike Lindell has a chance?
I think you'd be surprised when you get outside of the city in the rural areas. They are very heavy Republican. And there's a lot of, especially farmers and especially the hardworking citizens of Minnesota. There's a lot more people who support and endorse a Republican candidate, and especially a change. I mean, I was there underneath the Walz regime for a while, especially during George Floyd and all that craziness that. And
it didn't go over good there, did it?
It did not go over good. No.
I mean, Trump won in spite of the election fraud. He still won Minnesota.
I think the saddest thing, the hardest thing for me is having moved away from Minnesota for, I think, 4 years now. Every year I go back, I see it get worse and worse. It's not as clean as it once was. It's not as kept together as it once was. It just doesn't feel as safe as it, It's
so kind of like in Dumb and Dumber, you're saying there is a chance.
I think there's a chance. I think it's going to be hard because I know was it Michelle or who's the
what am I looking at here? What's the data showing me? You got young eyes. What are we looking at? Show me what is that? Look, it's like microfiche out here, guys. I'm almost 70 years old. You're making me squint. Is this the statistics on who's okay? Lisa DeMuth, 44%. Kendall Quayle, 16%. What am I looking? Mike Lindell's 14%.
Who's the Democratic candidate?
These are the Minnesota governor Republican primary winner. So Mike Lindell's only getting 14%. Is that what I'm seeing?
That's what it looks like, yeah.
Okay. Who is Lisa DeMuth? Do you know who she is?
I do not know who that is.
She doesn't have the name recognition Mike Lindell has.
I will say, though, I do know a friend of mine who I talk with who actually used to work for Senator Gazelka in Minnesota. He said he wishes Waltz was rerunning because he would be an easy candidate to go against, especially with
and everybody's celebrating. It's our side. It was like they should have left him there. They should have let him there because he'd be easier to beat. Now they're going to run Klobuchar,
who's kind of the sweetheart of Minnesota.
Yeah, she had a presidential run, so it's going to be a little tougher. But who was the senator you said? You mentioned a name a moment ago. Senator what?
No, that's who the one who you were just talking about was the one that's worried because she's like America's sweetheart, and every poll she's been in, Klobuchar, she's always showed up really well at the polls, and people have come out and vote for her. So it's going to be a hard race.
All right. Well, listen, I got 5 minutes left in this segment. I want to thank you, Matt. Thank you for giving us your opinion there, and so appreciate that. I want to talk about this Maha thing. This is a big deal. Nobody's talking about it. Do you guys realize how big a deal this is? Kennedy has done something amazing. 72 vaccines your kids were pharmaceutically. This industry, aren't you outraged? Moms, Maha people, independents, and informed conservatives. The pharmaceutical industry, these doctors, do you really believe in their credibility that do these studies on why you have 72 separate chemical vaccines going into your body? Then we have the surge of 2,000% increase in autism compared to other countries. Europe drops it down for vaccines for 11 categories, or 11 vaccines, basically. The United States does 72. Somebody was pumping your kids filled with chemicals and hurting their brains and their lives. New U.S. guidelines, however, recommend that all children get vaccines for 11 diseases compared with the 18, including COVID. Today, the Trump administration is proud to announce the United States of America's updated childhood vaccine schedule. The schedule is rooted in the gold standard of science and widely agreed upon by scientists and experts all over the world. Effective today, America will no longer, here it is, require 72 jabs for our beautiful, healthy children. We are moving to a far more reasonable schedule where all children will only be recommended to receive a vaccination for 11 of the most serious and dangerous diseases. Parents can still choose to give their children all the vaccinations if they wish. They will still be covered by insurance. However, the updated schedule finally aligns with the United States with other developed nations around the world. Congratulations to the HHS Secretary Bobby Kennedy, along with the other directors. So what I'm telling you is the number of the vaccines is going down. European countries, here's the point I was making, 11 injections compared to the United States, 72 injections. 72. I'm bringing the shark out again. In the name of Jesus, I bind and break that lying spirit. Can you imagine that? Matt, your little baby, my granddaughter, getting pumped up. If you guys were students of the Ivy League schools, the Northeast, I guarantee from Bangor, Maine, all the way down to Boston and down to Greenwich, Connecticut, they're injecting those kids. I mean, I got family members in the Northeast who still think Fauci walks on water. They believe in this. They believe in all those other vaccines. And then you wonder why the kids are autistic, why they have problems. And then, with all the other attendant side effects. Now, what's with Denmark? Wait a second. Denmark is with Greenland lately, fighting Trump. But I noticed Denmark is in my notes here. We got a minute, 23 seconds. Hold on. Kennedy anti-vaccine activist has said he believes children in the U.S. receive too many vaccines, falsely saying on multiple occasions that kids get as many as 90 doses before 18. The health secretary has moved to limit vaccine for kids in removing a recommendation for the COVID shot. In the presentation by Hogue, the CDC Vaccine Advisory Committee, who holds dual citizenship in the U.S. and Denmark, suggested fewer vaccines may reduce children's exposure to aluminum, an ingredient used in shots to boost the immune system. Major study from Denmark published in July found that aluminum exposure from vaccines isn't harmful. Oh, how about that? Aluminum, you want to get it out of your fillings in your head, but it's okay if you get it injected in your bloodstream. Evidently, the Denmark study says it isn't harmful. Kennedy demanded the journal retract the study, calling it a deceitful propaganda stunt by the pharmaceutical industry. Another reason to take Greenland from Denmark is they don't get it right on aluminum, and they're killing your kids with the metals, heavy metals. Well, maybe not killing them, but I'm telling you, Trump's on the right track. Denmark is in trouble this year. Anyway, is that the end of all my segments, or am I actually out of time? I can't believe it. We're out of time. God bless you.
Did you enjoy this latest episode? Please remember to share it with your friends, because the more knowledge you have, the better equipped you are to navigate the world.